In progress.
Hi, everyone. A very, very good afternoon. Hi, I am CA Parinita Adukia, and on behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICAI, we welcome all the participants today for the webcast Head Meets Heart Leading with Emotional Intelligence. I also welcome our today's resource person, Ms. Samta Datta, and all of us who are present here. To start with, I would love to invite our dynamic chairperson of the committee, CA Jay Chhairia sir. Please do say a few words about today's topic.
Thank you very much, Parinita. A very good afternoon to all of you. Friends, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee was formed with the purpose of developing the professional skills among our chartered accountants. Our chartered accountants' focus has been more on subjects like taxation, audit, law, and naturally it should be like that. But along with that, some professional skills are very, very important. And that's why this committee was formed. Fortunately, our visionary president, CA Charanjot Singh Nandaji, has given me the opportunity to chair this particular committee. And during this particular year, we have a target of having more than 50 webinars in this particular committee covering various professional skills, so that along with the technical skills that chartered accountant possess, they can also, it is like adding fragrance to the flower. Let me put it this way. Like somehow I believe that technical skills might be fine to enter into a profession. But if you really want elevation, there are some other skills, and there comes the professional skills, management skills, leadership skills, and these skills are more abstract, very abstract, like branding, personal branding, emotional intelligence, and all these topics that you're going to take up during this particular year, right? Digital marketing, maybe marketing, of course, within the framework of ICI, all these things. I believe these are very, very crucial topics. This is our fourth program for this particular year. And today, our topic is quite interesting. That is emotional intelligence, head, meet, heart. Now, this is very, very crucial. See, generally it so happens that a person with high IQ, earlier, once upon a time, it was always IQ, IQ, IQ. And chartered accountant definitely are people with high IQ, right? But think about the scene that I might be very intelligent in income tax. Maybe Samta has already joined. So Samta, just imagine this scene. I might be very good with company law. I might be very good with income tax. I might be very good with accounting standards. But I'm not good in handling my relationship with my family, maybe my parents, maybe my children, or I'm not good with handling my relations with my clients, my subordinates, my colleagues, my superiors. What will be the position? Would I be effective? Would my other technical skills come out very well? Probably the answer is no. The reason is even though I might be good with all the aspects, but because emotionally I am not stable, that's why, my IQ might not be used to the extent it should be. So gradually from IQ, the world shifted to EQ. From EQ, Parinda, you must be aware of this fact. The world has shifted to SQ, spiritual quotient. And do we require telling this thing in India? Spiritual quotient, right? And there are people who talk about PQ, passion quotient, right? How much passionate you are about something. So while IQ is very, very important, but along with that, EQ is very, very, very crucial. If you don't have the right EQ, then your IQ, you might not be using it properly. Let us put it differently. As it is said by Abraham Lincoln, that if I had 10 hours to chop a tree, I would use 6 hours to sharpen the axe. So maybe our brains are like that axe. But think about it, that even though it is made up of the same material, it is blunt. What will happen? What is our productivity? So here comes the importance of EQ. So today, you have very rightly chosen the topic of EQ. where I'm sure the speaker sometimes is going to talk about self-awareness. It seems very simple, right? Sometimes self-awareness is very simple. But what is very simple is very difficult to follow. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Very easy to listen to. How many people do that? Digital detox, one should be into that. How simple it is to say. How many people can do that? Don't eat junk food, eat nutritious food. Very simple to say. How many can do that? Similarly, believe me, even self-awareness, if a person can spend time on that, then he can move to heights in his career. This is very, very crucial. Though we chartered accountants, if something alarming comes up in income tax, we immediately will start working on that. If GST notification is there, blood will start moving very fast in our body. But when it comes to self-awareness, probably we feel that it's okay, or this is something theory. It does not affect me. But that is not the case. I know that maybe all these technical subjects might be a beautiful rose, but these things, self-awareness, self-regulation, and what the today's speaker is going to talk about is going to add a fragrance to it. So, what about motivation? Are we that person that people working with us, our colleagues, our subordinates, our team members, they are motivated not only by our words, but our actions, by our gestures, by our body language.
Absolutely.
And does our face communicate that without words? Right? Do we communicate that with our eyes? That's very, very crucial. Are we vibrating? Are we vibrating that positivity, that joy? Is it so that once we enter into our business premises or into meetings, then the atmosphere turns very positive? Are we that type
Welcome
of people?
to VoiceOver.
So that is important.
VoiceOver speaks descriptions of.
Okay, maybe. So, some person must have joined the background. Fine. So, empathy, another very important aspect. I'm sure this must be the topic sometimes going to touch up, right? She is an expert on that. I am not. I'm very much a council member, and my subjects are finance and management accounting like that. But I strongly believe that along with that, professional skills are very, very, very crucial. And I have been advocating that thing for more than a decade. And that's why this committee has been handed over to me. Along with that, very interesting thing is that this is the first year where ICI has come up with the work-life balance committee. For around 75 years, this committee was not there. Now it has been formed. And fortunately, the president has given that committee also to me. So that is, this is going to be a wonderful combination. So anyway, empathy, your social skills, how you communicate, conflicts are going to be there, how you resolve that. Actually, we are not talking about very big conflicts, but whenever two people are there, they have different thought process. Whoever they are, a chartered accountant and a client, a fiance and a fiancée, whoever they are, even the best two friends coming together, they have a different thought process. It's very natural. How do you deal with that? Because these are very, very crucial things. If you can handle that, I'm sure, number one, you can develop your practice very well if you're a practicing chartered accountant. In your corporates, you will have your elevation in the corporate ladder. So these are some tangible benefits you can say, and the intangible benefits are many, many. If you can handle people very well, think about it, how joyful will be your life, your work. And if you're very happy with your work, how joyful you'll come back at your home. And if that happens, you're going to spread that among your family members, among your friends. So this is what is the theme of today's topic. I'm sure our speaker is going to cover this topic in detail. I just started with whatever I felt like, just speaking spontaneously. So, Parinita, I'm just giving you back the stage and you may take this forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jay sir. Like I always say, it's a pleasure listening to you, and there's no stop to that. And you always add so much value to whatever you discuss. And this topic, I believe, is one of your core where you talk about motivation, self awareness. And yes, self awareness is the key, like sir said, might be the simplest thing, but it's a rule. It's a very general rule that the simplest things are something that people avoid. So I think, the all matters to how we work on the simplest things. Basics are something which will remain the most important aspect for us. We always have to go back to basics, and self awareness is one of the basic aspect that each one of us need to work upon. Branding is one of the most important topics for chartered accountants. So it's very close topic for me as well. And yes, how we present ourselves as a CA in the world that's growing, it's becoming so dynamic. And understanding our emotional capacity, how do we manage a team, how do we manage our own self, and how do we represent ourselves in this world is something which will remain very, very crucial in the next decade coming for the chartered accountants. On that note, let me introduce our speaker of the day, Miss Samta Datta. As a business leader with over 18 years of experience in marketing and communication, she has delivered transformative growth across industries, including FMCG, consumer goods, telecom, finance, travel, you name it all. She has led high performing teams, managed operations, provided strategic insights to CXOs. She's managed brands like Go Airlines, Pantene, Gillette, Vodafone, Unilever, Emirates, Coca-Cola, and they've taken them to a new height. With an extensive background in marketing and human behavior, she brings a nuanced understanding of both psychological and strategic elements necessary to build those compelling personal brands. Over the years, she has worked with diverse clientele, ranging from executives to entrepreneurs, helping them refine their brand identity, identify their core strengths, and communicate their unique value propositions to achieve the personal and professional excellence. She grew startup Soothe Healthcare from 50 crores to 200 crores in less than 3 years, and her leadership supported a C series investment series of 130 crore, establishing the brand's presence in the feminine hygiene market. At GoAir, Samta revitalized the brand communication and expanded new geographies, enhancing the airline's digital footprint. Samta has also held influential marketing leadership roles at top global advertising agencies like McCann Erickson, Grey Worldwide, and even Ogilvy. Wow. So with that, I'm really looking forward to hearing from Samta ma'am what she wants to share about emotional intelligence and specifically for us chartered accountants. So with this, I will hand over the stage to Samta ma'am, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such a grandeur introduction, Parinita. I'm overwhelmed. I felt like आप किसी और के बारे में बात कर रहे हो. It was just, it was elating. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. Thank you, Chairman Sir, for such a warm introduction. After you've spoken, I don't know what I will actually showcase in the presentation, because I think you've already spoken and covered so many pieces of the topic itself. So I'm very humbled and I'm very grateful that you guys chose me to speak about this topic, and I'm very excited to talk to the community. CAs are, like I always say, CAs are the backbone of not just Indian economy but every household in India. And they form a very, very important part of the entire socioeconomic setup of any society. So I'm very grateful to be able to share whatever I have learned over so many years with this community and learn with them as I share. So yeah. Parinita, should I start or how do we go about it?
Yes, ma'am, you can. You can please start.
Okay, that is wonderful. So I will first just let me share my presentation. Mm. Can you guys see it?
I think it's loading.
Okay, super.
It's still not visible, ma'am.
Still not visible. One sec.
No.
One sec. Is it visible?
Yes, we can.
Super. Super. So without any further ado, let's get started. The topic, like Chairman Sir said and Parinita said, is very close to everybody's heart, and and I think it's very topical for last couple of years. Head meets heart, leading with emotional intelligence. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Today we are going to discover how emotional intelligence transform leadership. What do I mean by this is, we know that you guys, you are the CAs, you are the backbone of the socio-political, socio-economical part of the country, part of the society. But how do we take our leadership from good to great? That is what it is all about. So I trust me, I believe all of you are immensely good leaders. That's why you are here. That's why you are on part of this workshop. But from good to great, there is a journey. And this is what we are going to uncover today. What is emotional intelligence and why do we need it? Emotional intelligence, it is not a nice to have tool. It is a very critical tool for business result, team performance, and personal well-being. I think we all are aware of this. This is aisa kuch nahi hai that you are hearing this for the first time. But what it is not a nice to have. But the difference here that I want you to take away is, it is not a nice to have. It is a must to have. You can go from A to F if you have skills. But if you want to go to A to Z, be a holistic leader, be a holistic human being, contribute to growth overall, you need to have a very strong pillar of emotional intelligence, which will not just help you professionally, but also help you in a personal growth, which is very important. Because if you are not growing personally, I doubt that you can add much professionally as well. So this is why it is important. The important task, important part to take it. It is not a nice to have. Don't think, okay, अच्छी बात है कि उसमें emotional intelligence है. No, it's a must to have. Okay. So what do we gain? What do we gain when we have, understanding of this subject? It's a practical tool to apply immediately for a deeper self-awareness and insights that lead from empathy to effectiveness. ये थोड़ा सा, it might be sounding a little more jargonish, very corporate-like, but I want you to take it like, I am giving you tools to uncover and understand yourself, your own self, to be able to relate to others and thereby act and thereby grow, thereby make more money, make more growth, make more, achieve more things in life. But these are very, very practical tools. And these tools, trust me, are not just required by CAs or marketing people or management people. These are tools that even when you go down and you are facing a crisis, like we all faced in times of corona, or times to when we are rushing to take a flight, any crisis, any small to big crisis, any sphere of life, these are just the tools that will help you to not just connect, empathize, but also to just lead in a larger way, right? So let's begin. I just want it to be a little more interactive session. So can you just guys in the chat box let me know what does leadership, in one word, what does leadership for you mean today? In today's time, what does leadership mean to you? Anybody? Anybody?
Ma'am, it's a single way communications.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. ठीक है. So we will not do that. But अगर मैं, if you ask the younger me, what does leadership mean to me? I would say leadership means to move forward, to lead people, to tell people what to do. That is a very at a beginner level understanding of the word leadership, and which is right. There is nothing wrong with this understanding, but this understanding further from this point needs depth. When you are entering an organization that has 200 people, and then 200 people at executive level, then they have 300, then they have 100 people at manager level, then they have 150 people at senior manager level, and then directors and VPs are all 30, 20, then one or two or three people. How do we then define leadership? How do we ensure that the leadership that is not a senior manager level leadership, but how do we become a CEO level leadership? That is the turn. That is what emotional intelligence makes you. Like I think the chairman sir said, like Parinita said, leadership is not just about IQ, but it is about balancing the logic with the empathy, balancing the head with the heart, and mind you, it is not only heart. I'm not saying, oh, you need to have very much empathy, you just totally need to understand. No, it is head with heart. It is the combination of this that makes you intelligence. So in the EQ, please understand the IQ is already there. It is the balancing of the head and heart that makes you a sophisticated EQ leader, not just heart. What happens is usually when I take such session, people get very overwhelmed and overjoyed, and they say, oh, no, hum to bahut emotional hai. We totally understand, we empathize. Yes, empathy is power tool, but you cannot let go of intelligence or logic. You have to learn to know, okay, I know this is the problem. This can be a practical solution. This is how the people are right now feeling. How do I combine the both? How do I make it a win-win situation? How do I do a balancing act? That is EQ. That is where the emphasis comes in. So what all we'll cover today? We will cover understanding the pillars of emotional intelligence. So the emotional intelligence, the topic that we are covering today. What are the pillars of it? How do we categorize it simply just for our understanding, to in-depth understand what does it mean? Explore the impact of it on leadership. How does it impact leadership? So when you are a high IQ person versus when you are an IQ and an EQ persons, how does your leadership impact? Some data points on them, some understanding on that, and simple practical day-to-day tools that you can take away and apply in your life. So I'm not just going to say, okay, this you should do. No, practically on a day-to-day basis, what can you do that transforms your journey, that lets you open up yourself and build your EQ from one up? So this is what we will cover today. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, first off, is navigating your own, managing your own emotions and others. So please mind you, it is not just only understanding the other person. The understanding of other will only come from the deeper understanding of yourself. If you are not connected with your own emotions, you are not understanding how something said, some situation, some crisis, some bad behavior is impacting me. Unless you understand how is it impacting me, you will not be able to navigate other people's emotional and form a deep bond. If it is all about, अरे अच्छा ठीक है crisis हो गया मुझे पता है ये manage, that is manipulation. When you are operating from the head and trying to strategically find a solution that looks like a softer solution for that is a little bit of manipulation. But a genuine EQ is when you understand, okay, at this moment, maybe I also felt bad. Maybe I also felt a little angry, but okay, I can put my anger aside and understand that others might also felt the similar way. Now, what should I do? So it is first understanding, owning up, recognizing your own triggers, your own emotions, your own emotional state, giving it importance, developing that kind of self-awareness. And then from that self-awareness कि मुझे बुरा लग सकता है, मुझे गुस्सा आ सकता है, मुझे ट्रिगर लगता है, तो हो सकता है दूसरे को कैसा लगा हो. From this understanding comes that understanding. So जब तक आप आपको नहीं समझोगे, अपनी emotional state को recognize नहीं करोगे, you will not be able to make way and connect with others. So it is managing, please understand, I will repeat it and make a little more emphasis on it. It is managing your own emotions and navigating others. And navigating others. So what is the key insight here? Key insight kya hota hai, just for everybody's benefit? Insight is fundamental human truth. Insight, when we say this is a great insight, that means it is universally applicable to that situation, that product, that human being behavior. That is an insight. So idhar kya insight is? What is the insight that the entire EQ concept is based on? The EQ leadership is based on an insight. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. I will repeat. You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself. And that is where EQ comes from. If you don't know how to manage your own emotions, there are chances you will not understand or empathize with anyone else. And anything that we do, trying to then is a cover up. It's a manipulation of sort. It is, unless you deeply feel what you are feeling, understand it, recognize it, be self-aware, you will not be able to start the journey outside. But why in the work? So I understand you will say, acha, theek hai, but why is emotional intelligence of any matter? Why should it matter in times that we are living in? These are some data points. I want you to have a look at it, and I will also read them out. But I want you to understand that the times that we are playing in, the times that we are living in, are very sophisticated times where the performance is not, अरे आपने इतनी लकड़ी काटी, this is the number of, आपने आज इतने पेड़ काटे तो इतना आप, no, we are not living in that times. We are living in a very sophisticated times with very sophisticated level of problems that cannot be only solved through mind. As the level of problems keep increasing, the level of skill set that is required to tackle it also increases. Hence, 90% of the top performers today across industries, more than the technical skills, have EQ. But what separates them from high performance is the ability to manage emotion effectively. क्या है? आप घर से निकलते हो, ट्रैफिक जैम में फंसते हो, you have to manage. आप ऑफिस पहुंचते हो, HR आता है, you are late, you have to manage. So you come back late home, you have parents, you have family to respond to, you have to manage. You did not wish a friend, you have to manage. And these pitfalls will happen. There will never be a day that you start and you fill all the buckets equally. But somebody who is emotionally intelligent knows how to navigate this sophisticated level of problems. Today, aaj se, I will take you back, and what I mean by that is, aaj se 20 years pehle, if there is a work scenario, there is a landline, there are no mobiles, there are no emails, there are letters, there is paperwork. So the process and the pace of things were very gentle, slow, very rhythmic. Today, Something is on newspaper, then you're hearing it on mobile, then you're seeing it in the hoarding, then you are, talking about your friend, then आपके उसने किसी ने reel भी बना दिया उसके बारे में. Before you know, you are enveloped with that topic, and somebody is asking you to do something about it, and you don't have the time, the space, the energy to even process. And you don't jump into logical conclusions and then start doing no. That is why that's what I'm saying. The sophistication, the level of sophistication of the problem today is far more graver. Hence, we all need EQ to be able to, as we rise up, as this problems, as the sophistication gets bigger and bigger, we need EQ to manage it. Manage our own emotions and then hence manage others. Leadership, emotional tone. Like we know, leaders set the temperatures for their team. This is a very known fact. You will imitate your leader. You will take guidance from your leader. You will take energy from your leader. And from that energy, you will move forward and you will create team. You will do your task, etc. So if the leader is not emotionally balanced, the team feels unsafe, demotivated. So many times, if you remember the jokes that we have is, "Are yaar, my boss, he's like that. Are, my client is like that. Are nahi, aaj main wahan gaya. My parents are like that." What happens is the leaders that we feel that surround us, knowingly and unknowingly, they are setting the temperature for us. They are setting the lead for us. If we as leaders today are not well balanced, if not our our yin and yang, our emotional and intelligent selves are not well balanced, we will not be able to lead teams. And today, especially the times of COVID, especially the times of I would say work from home culture, there is so much changing in the work environment today. In these times, the emotional intelligence comes as a foundation of building yourself as a leader. First self and then others, right? Third point, in innovation and resilience. Now, how does EQ relate to innovation and resilience? It's innovation. How does that relate? Teams with emotional, intelligent leaders bounce back from setbacks faster and innovate more boldly. Let me take a minute and explain to you what I mean. When you have a very emotionally balanced leader or a parent, or when you are one, for your team, the setbacks are natural part and parcel of the long-term game that we are playing. The setbacks are very, very, apparent. They will come. But how do you bounce back? Do we get enveloped in the problem? Do we become dark? Do we go deep? Do we hold on to the problem? Or do we have the strength to come back and have a fresher perspective? That will come from us giving an emotionally secure, intelligent place to our teams. We know, okay, today something happened on the road. I stepped up. I took charge. I managed that situation. And if I go half an hour late to the work, I know my boss will hold up for me. He will understand. She will understand. These are little things that tell me I know my boss will understand. Today, your best performing person wants to leave. But if you are if you are an IQ-led leader, he knows he will not get that safety anywhere else, that emotional safety. And he will be a permanent employee to you if you are operating from your emotional intelligence. So we need to understand it leads to innovation, it needs to resilience, it needs to bouncing back ability. Where does innovation come from? Innovation comes from when we feel safe to play with something, right? When we feel safe, this way, no, let me try that. That let me try that ka confidence comes when I know that somebody is not going to judge me and say, "Arey, kharab kyun kar diya? Arey, itne minute mein deliver karna tha, nahi, aaj hi karna." That innovation comes from that joyous, that security that, okay, somebody has my back, or okay, you do it. I know I'll figure it out. That space that you create for people to kind of take the new challenge on, take it a deeper dive, or, look at it from a deeper perspective, comes when there is emotional safety. And when the leaders start operating from emotional intelligence, they create emotional safety for self and others, while taking everybody along, while keeping the focus, while giving the right feedback all the time, and taking the team ahead. So that is where we are at. At any point in time, is there any questions? I would like to take it up. Please, I know it's one way, but I will still like to hear if there is any question. Okay. So what are the benefits? हम करें क्यों? क्या मिलेगा emotional intelligence से? What will I achieve? Yes, of course. These are the understanding that, my teams will benefit, people around me will benefit. But what will happen to myself if I start operating as an emotionally intelligent leader? The first thing it will do is it will enhance your decision-making capabilities. So many times today, we are caught up with so many choices. We open an app, खाने के लिए क्या मंगाना है? There are 500 options. कॉफी कौन सी पीनी जानी है? 500 options. Google Map में right लें या left लें? 3 options. Every time today we have like I call it, today we have a decision-making fatigue. From morning to evening, we are taking so many decisions, and sometimes they are just random, or we can't give our intelligence or our emotional state to every decision, because we are taking too many decisions from right to left, to kya khana hai, to chai kaun si pini hai, coffee kaisi aayegi, to AC ka temperature kitna, everything is a decision. But once we are emotionally intelligent, we know how to take well-balanced, enhanced decisions, keeping my well-being accountable and the others' well-being accountable. Why is it enhanced? My logic will tell me, let's take the shortest route now. I landed from airport and I am in Bangalore and I have to go to, UB City. I'll say, take the shortest route. But if I'm an emotionally intelligent person, or I'm operating out of my EQ, I will try say, okay, I'm new in the city. I might not know. Let me check Google, and let me also ask the driver. Emotionally enhanced decision-making comes into play simply when we give value to ourselves and others, when we operate out of EQ. Growth mindset. Oh my God, I cannot underline this more. That the growth mindset is it comes with emotional intelligence, because I'll tell you what emotional intelligence really does. At a very primal level, it takes fear out of your psyche. If you are an emotionally intelligent person, it will completely take fear out of your psyche. Set your path to the growth target like nothing else, because you know that the ups and downs will come. I have the emotional capability to manage myself and others, take them along wherever they kind of fall. I know how to pick them up. I know how to manage my emotions and put the entire team to a growth mindset. Of course, the third one, I think we all know, better stress management. Agar mere emotions regulated hai, if I have the responsibility, if I am holding myself accountable for my relationships, my stress is managed better, and I am a better person for others. Wherever field I'm turning out, I'm a better person. I'm able to listen better. I'm able to understand better. I'm able to grab things at a deeper level, which overall leads to a very self-confident, self-assured personality. If you need 20 minutes to write an email, you say, okay, fine, I know this crisis has happened. Allow me 10 minutes and I'll come back to you. You know how to separate yourself from the crisis and operate. Get yourself emotionally well-being and then operate. That will automatically will do wonders for your self-confidence, because you get the strength. The fear is out of the sight. You will be self-confident, you will be self-assured. And this self-confidence is not main kar lunga yaar. This is not that self-confidence. This is the self-confidence based on the fact, even though I fall, even if my team misses a deadline, even if there is a lapse, even if I was supposed to do something and I did not, I know I will, because I know I'm well balanced. I'm owning up my emotions and responding and connecting with the others. Better communications, obviously. So many times, I think in today's over communicating world, so many times we just avoid communication. हम इतने bombarded हैं WhatsApp से, email से, voice messages से, Bajaj Finance के call से. We get so overwhelmed that we avoid communication. We have all kind of delve into that borderline ghosters. Ghosters are, means that people who don't respond to people. We've all kind of been there. Because why? Because it's so overcoming. We feel burdened. Arey yaar, ye bhi pooch raha, arey boss ka bhi aa gaya, colleague pooch raha hai, wo file ka. Everybody is after my life. We feel that so many times there, now and then. But if we are emotionally intelligent, if we can give the time to our emotion, owning up our emotions, and then connecting back, we can tackle. We will be. So many times, people are asking us questions that we are not sure about. We don't know answers to. We don't know. If we can just be confident enough and say, you know what, I certainly don't have the answer of it right now, but maybe by the end of the day, I would be much clearer at that. Or maybe by the end of the week, I would be much clearer on the status of this thing. It takes this much, but we will not respond. We will just sit down. Until we have a logical reply, we will keep ghosting people. But if you have emotional intelligence, you will understand when you answer people in time, you are putting them on ease and yourself at ease. And sometimes you might not even have the reply, but you can say, I'm not sure right now. I will take some time. To allow yourself that space comes from emotional intelligence. And there is a big part of self and others that we will actually learn in the slides following. Moving on. What are the 5 core pillars of EQ? These pillars are not defined by me. These are the pillars that have been defined by psychologists that have done massive amount of work on EQ over the years, and a lot of Harvard studies, a lot of international studies have been done on these pillars that have been crafted. So I want you to take a deep breath and try to soak up as much as you can on these pillars, and then we will discuss them in detail. I will first start with this. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. Let me repeat that for you. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. And this is the way it flows. Can you see this diagram? If it's flowing like this, this is the way it flows. These are the core pillars. So there is a reason why self-regulation is not before self-awareness, and empathy is on the 4th point. I will again repeat this. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. I want you to take in a moment, and I will not move the slide. I want you to take in a moment and try to grab it in your senses, saying that these are the 5 pillars. And I'll tell you how just being aware of these, just being having a simple understanding of these can take you from EQ 0 to EQ 5, if not 10. Just having understanding of these terminologies. Yeah. I hope you guys have soaked it in. I'm moving. Yeah. So what are these? मैंने अभी आपको terms बताए. What does this mean in a simple word? One word, one line. Self-awareness, I think it's a very easy term. We use it so many times in today's time. So everything is self-awareness. But what does it mean in the context of this concept of EQ is recognizing your own emotions and its impact. I cannot tell you how much, you know, one can do just by understanding and recognizing how they are feeling. We will cover this part in depth in the coming slides, but recognizing your own emotion saves you so much of, you know, from so much pitfalls that can come in after. Because agar, don't think that you are here to solve others' problem. Don't put yourself on that pedestal. Even as a leader, even if you are leading 2,000 people, first recognize your emotion. How am I feeling? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I feeling burdened? Let's first work on myself. What am I feeling? Take a, you know, if you are not sure what you're feeling, I'll give you one trick. Take a deep breath, go back on the back of the chair, go inside your body and see which body part has a little bit tension. If, say, my legs have a little tension, then I know that I am feeling that I'm not taking enough action, I'm not moving forward. That is my tension. So self-awareness, आप body part से भी कर सकते हो. That's another study. We will do it at some other time. I will not take your time on that one. But please, I will underline the emphasis. You will not go in a wrong direction of solving the problems if you will be self-aware to know, I am feeling this. I am feeling upset. I am angry. I am burdened. I am overwhelmed. आप कुछ भी feel कर रहे हो. That is not, I am feeling good. I am positive. I am going to do it. I am feeling charged. I am feeling rejuvenated. That is very important. That awareness of what I am feeling in the moment is very important. As a leader, you need to first take care of yourself and understand that. You will not be able to lead if you are not going to take care of yourself, if you are not going to lead yourself, like we studied earlier. Very important point. In the following slides, we will go in depth. Self-regulation. Again, बहुत ही simple term है. 100 times हम सुनते हैं. What is self-regulation? Managing my own emotions so that they don't hijack your action. मेरे को पता चला in the first step, self-awareness, I got aware that I am feeling this way. I am feeling very charged. और I'm very charged. अभी भी मैं speech सुन के आई हूँ and I'm very charged. What is self-regulation? Managing your emotions so that they don't become they don't get into action, they don't hijack your action. मैं आई, मेरे को कॉल आया, I'm very charged कि अरे नहीं ये करना है, oh ठक phone and I run to the door and I do the no. I heard this happen. This is produced this emotion in me. I understand. Managing your emotion. Okay. I am feeling charged. How do I channelize this? Regulating is how understanding how do I channelize this thing that I'm feeling? Positive or negative? How do I channelize? How do I not let that emotion that I'm feeling overpower my action? How whatever I'm feeling, good, bad, should not overpower my action. That is self-regulation. Very important step. Very, very important step. Then comes if you was, this will all take time. This will all take regulation and time, right? Third one, motivation. Inner driver kya hai mera? Inner driver that goes beyond status and goes beyond money. Why is motivation important? मैंने को तो पता है कि मैं सेल्फ अवेयर होंगी, मैं अवेयर हूँ कि मैं ये फील कर रही हूँ, मैंने रेगुलेट भी कर लिया, पर मोटिवेशन क्या क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है? Why is motivation important? Motivation इसलिए important है because motivation is that inner state, inner driver that is already sitting inside you. That is a preset into your system. That's a preset into your system that by default your actions are in that direction. For example, I am feeling angry. I regulated my anger, but I know that somewhere deep down I'm an angry person only. Then I know that मेरा एक्शन इसके बाद जो है, मैं कोशिश तो करूंगी कनेक्ट करने की, पर मैं पैसिव अग्रेसिव होंगी, बिकॉज मेरी इनर मोटिवेशन जो है ना, that is already in a aggressive state. I don't know, I mean, how else to explain it to you, but motivation is very, very important. एक आपकी जो इनर मोटिवेशन है आपको बिल्कुल समझनी पड़ेगी, because then it will then how you will connect will be very different. आपको समझना पड़ेगा there is an inner state inside you that is preset. And you know, your self-awareness and self-regulation might be something, but if your motivation is not correct, not aligned, your inner, seedings will come out wrong in the wrong direction. So your motivation and the drivers need to be set in the right place. This is the point, my friends, where it can go to inspiring others, genuinely connecting with others, to the point of manipulation. This is where it can cover. And trust me, we can be smart, we can manipulate some people sometime, but it's not going to be something. If we are self-serving, it is going to show sometime. And as leaders, we are very exposed. We actually are on a pedestal for a lot of people. So we are living in light. We are very, very exposed. So I will try and when I will go on in motivation, we will go in depth on this, that how we should be very correctly aligned and we should work on ourselves, that our inner motivations go beyond status and money or whatever it is, to be aligning a larger team. If you are given the shoulders and the responsibility to take the team along, you cannot be driven by your own small inner motivations. Sounds like ज्ञान, but trust me, अगर आप एक बड़ी टीम बना रहे हो, अगर आप कुछ बड़ा कर रहे हो, अगर आप सबको लेके आगे जा रहे हो, if you are leading a strong pack, just like Mr. Tata, who's my favorite example to give, you need to understand that you sit, like Mr. Tata's motivation, I'll take an example, is not money, status. Mr. Tata's motivation, Mr. Ratan Tata's motivation was goodwill, trust. That is the motivation. And that is why people die on the name of Tata. Are Tata ka hai na yaar. That's why, that's the brand that he's created. Because its inner motivation is very clear, versus a lot of other super rich people in India, where we know that they are trying to, set their business stronger. They don't have the same reputation today. Motivation. And aap kitna bhi chupao, you might be the master, but motivations get across people. You cannot hide them. Hence, motivations are very, very important. Now, coming back to, we will talk about it in length, empathy. Empathy, what is empathy? Understanding and considering other people's emotion. Be considerate to other people. Agar main simple word mein bolu, kya hai empathy? Empathy is understanding and considering others people emotion also. मुझे बुरा लग रहा है तो उसको भी बुरा लगेगा. Simple. You don't have to be, yeah, If I am traveling in COVID and I'm wearing a mask, if I expect everybody else to wear a mask, I should wear one too. Empathy. The COVID is a very good example where all of us as a human race were empathetic. We were able to tackle a virus like coronavirus, which swept away so much also because we were empathetic. So many, we were all not feeling comfortable in the mask, but we were putting the mask on because we understand it is not just emotion. That emotion translated into my safety and your safety is important. Your safety is also important as my safety, hence the mask. Right? Social skills. Building healthy relationship, inspiring others. I cannot tell you sometimes, and this is I will pick myself here. Social skills are not easy. We might think, "अरे मेरे तो बहुत friends हैं यार. I am very social. मेरे बहुत friends हैं." No, that is not building healthy relationship and social skills. Social skills are when you are helping, you are motivating, you are reaching out to people and inspiring people that have nothing much to do and take and give to you. That is your social skill. Your social skill is not that आप party बहुत अच्छी throw करते हो. That is part of social skills, but that is not alone in the course of EQ. That is not your social skill. Building a healthy relationship with somebody and inspiring that somebody, taking that person along. See, you are a certain type of person, like the first self-awareness. Everybody, 2,000 people in your team, or 200 people, or 20 people in your team are not the same people. But even if you don't understand, you don't relate to a person, can you build a healthy relationship with them? Inspire them? Can you? Or can you just build a safe environment for them to flourish and do work? That is EQ. That is a very core pillar of EQ, because as we expand as leaders, as we become broader, bigger, more powerful, more impactful leaders, we will not be interacting with people who are just like us. We'll be impacting, in fact, we will be dealing more and more with people who are much away from us. But we have to learn to build healthy relationships. Each pillar builds on the next, creating a complete emotional EQ toolkit. And how, like I took you through the journey from this, and I told you that why there is an order to this. There is an order from self-awareness to regulation to motivation to empathy to social skills. They all go in the ascending chart. If we build one, it will lead to the other, it will lead to the other, it will lead to the other, right? So this was, I know this is a one-way presentation, but I'm sure we can't do it on, as a quiz. But if you can write on piece of paper, what kind of pillar do you feel close to? Is there, like, I feel I'm very self-aware. I might not be very self-regulated. Is there some style you can motivate anybody? Because you are very selfless, you come across as taking people, or you can motivate you that kind of a leader. You're a very empathetic leader with great social skills. So as a leader, what kind of a leader you are, right? So try in your head or on your piece of paper, try and put it all. This is the skill I'm good at, this is the kind of leader I think, this is my pillar, this particular pillar is strong, this I'll have to build. Write it down for yourself. That will really be helpful for you to understand as we go forward. Just give me a moment. I think I'll have to plug in my computer. Just one thing. I'll leave it on this bridge note. The best leaders aren't emotionless. They are emotionally skillful. So I'll give you 2 minutes to think about what kind of a leader you are. What pillar really resonated with you? And keep this screen on in front of you. The best leaders aren't emotionless or emotional, one way or the other. They are emotionally skillful leaders, right? Hi, Parinita. Can you
No.
give me 2 minutes?
Sure, ma'am. Please take your time.
Yeah.
Yes, leaders aren't emotionless. They have a very good quality of managing the emotions that they see and they experience every day, whether it's the emotions of their team, their clients, people around them, anybody who is interacting with those leaders. When you manage not only your emotion, but they also manage different emotions, is when we call them a good leader. And I think managing emotion is the best trick you can have as a leader, because once you manage emotions, you know what kind of conversations to have with them. How can you really interact with them? What does the person actually want from you? You understand that much better rather than just working, or you're just trying to analyze it on your own. So do manage emotions of people around you, especially your team. I think that's the most important aspect for all the leaders. Um, you know, understanding what they're going through, understanding what their requirements are, even without them telling you directly. It's one of the key aspects of leadership that really shows what a leader is. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Is there any question that Parinita that is coming up? Let me know. Then I think I would also take it up.
Sure. Sure. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be sending those to you.
Yeah.
So we'll know more about self-awareness,
Yes,
something that
yes,
Jay sir discussed.
yes. I'm back.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so
We
much.
continue.
Yes, please.
Yes, super. Thank you so much, Parinita, for holding the fort for me. Yeah. So we will, like I said, I think we were very clearly here. Best leaders aren't emotional, less or emotional. They are emotionally skillful. Now we will enter the first pillar. What does this pillar? Pillar of self-awareness. I particularly think this is one of my favorite pillars. Uh, it's the first pillar. It's a foundation again. Know thyself. It's very easily. I've tried to explain it to you very easily. It's the ability to recognize your own emotions, how they affect your thought and behavior. When I know that I am feeling X, then probably I will be doing Y. It is a self analysis. You have to be your own shrink, as I say. You have to be your own psychoanalyst here, and understand when Samta is happy, when Samta has achieved, when Samta is charged, she will do XYZ, right? I think if all of you guys can write down on the piece of paper for yourself, when I am this, I behave like this. My thoughts are like this. For example, when Samta is in traffic, she gets very anxious. traffic jam, and when I'm somebody who's very punctual, and when I'm in traffic jam and I know that I'm going to be late for a meeting, I become anxious. I know that. And that is first level of recognizing, because I don't want somebody's, मैंने commitment दी है, I don't want to be late there. I'm very, like very oriented to that. So I'm very anxious when, oh my God, can we take this? And then I will quickly try and find solutions. But no, I need to understand that usually when I get stuck in a jam and I know that I'm getting late, I will get anxious. So either I start a little early, that's one way of regulating and finding a solution, or there are others. But I can still be in a jam. I can be perfect and still get caught up in a jam. I can't control the scenarios. But to be self-aware of that is allowing yourself to feel your emotions. And you don't have to share this with anybody. I am doing it. You can hold me by tomorrow. But for yourself, you can write it. Okay, when this happens, when my boss write a stinker to me, or when my colleague has not done the work that I've asked them to do a week back, this is what I feel. This is what my thoughts are. It is just for you to know. This paper is not going to be broadcasted anywhere. It is just and it's a sweet exercise for you to know what do you feel in that moment. Then, why it matters to me. If you don't understand your emotion, how can you control them? Right? What we don't understand, if we don't understand to multiply, 2 into 2 is 4, we will never be able to know the maths, right? So why it matters? Like I said, because I'm somebody punctual, because I'm somebody very, मैंने अपना word दिया है, so I have to reach on time. It's a good thing. I take it as a compliment. I'm very proud of it. But I have to understand. But I put a lot of pressure on me to be punctual. I put a lot of pressure on me. So one has to understand that, and then I can control. I live in Bombay. No matter what I do, I can't control traffic. I can't do it in Bangalore. I can't do any city. But I need to understand that about me. And most of the times you will realize our behavior, our thoughts, our anger, or whatever might even be a not so positive emotion or thought or behavior that we are feeling is coming out of a good place only. It's coming out of a place of bettering ourselves. But it is for you to allow yourself from a third person perspective, see yourself and own up that emotion. I'm sure some scribbles that somebody would have come about. Please, I don't want to know, but please do this exercise. It is a very interesting exercise. Then imagine feeling criticized, or this is a project in a review. Immediately, then getting defensive. Self-awareness is leaders notice their emotional triggers and choose to listen calmly instead. I know that if I'm getting late, it will bother me. But I know, okay, this is what my trigger is. This is what my trigger is. How do I respond now? If I don't know my trigger, why is self-awareness important? Because it is important to understand your own trigger. If you understand your own trigger, if you're self-aware, it is your power. You know what kind of criticism does what to me. Like we know कि हमें आम सूट नहीं करता, आंवला सूट नहीं करता, मशरूम सूट नहीं करते, या हमारे को एप्पल अच्छा लगता है और हमें ये फ्रूट. We know that, like we know our taste buds. It's simple that. It's simple. It's as simple as knowing I like rajma chawal over chole bhatura, or I like healthy food. It's as simple as that. And don't judge yourself in the process. One thing I will tell you, please kindly don't judge yourself in the process of the journey of self-awareness. It's absolutely damn okay to feel a certain way. Because I'll tell you why we should not judge ourselves. Because the minute we start judging ourselves is operating from a judgment that we will eventually throw on others. It is okay. It is absolutely okay. Don't judge yourself in the process. Be transparent in this process. Understand what triggers you. Be aware of it. And then start completely owning it up in a way that you can respond better. A key practice for do is journaling daily for your emotional patterns. I can tell you, journaling has last 2 years I did it. It really helped me. I'm not asking you to do everything that they tell you in self-help, but journaling definitely, if you are not well aware of yourself, आपको पता नहीं कि यार मुझे पता नहीं गुस्सा आ जाता है यार मैं वो देख नहीं सकता क्लाइंट को रिस्पॉन्ड करना था उसने 1 हफ्ते से किया नहीं है यार. You know, we do that to our juniors, to our teams. We so many times do that. This should have been taken care of. It's of course it should be. I'm sure that you're right. That is your logic. That is your IQ. Am I right or am I right in the moment? That is EQ. Journaling is a soft task. What is journaling? I'm sure you guys know that. I'm teaching the choir, but I will still, for the benefit of everybody, because of the point of connection, I'll tell you, journaling is writing about it. Today, Priyanka came to me and told me this. I felt that she should have done this earlier, but she did not. I felt this is not right. I will try and calm myself down and communicate this to her in this way. Journaling really helps in building self-awareness. Yeah. So this is a story and scenario. I thought कि थोड़ा boring हो जाएगा अगर मैं ही बोलती रहूंगी. आप लोग of course participate कर रहे हैं, but कोई story तो मैं सुनाती हूँ. This is a story that I've taken. A manager who has lost his best employee, and I'll tell you, I take a lot of pride that people don't leave me in the office scenarios. But this has also happened with me, so I'm no exception. Raj was a technically brilliant manager, but emotionally disconnected. When Priya went through a tough personal crisis, Raj ignored, focusing only on deadlines. Outcome, Priya left invisible and unvalued. Priya felt invisible and unvalued, eventually resigning. Learning empathy and self-awareness would have built loyalty instead of resentment. Emotional intelligence lesson, people need to feel seen before they perform. I'll tell you how it works. And this has happened to me, a similar thing, not this. Something like this happened to me during COVID. I have a team. I was working in Delhi and I was living in Bombay. And the second wave really hit Delhi bad. And so many of our employees, our team people had to support not just themselves. They were not going through COVID. Their parents were, their cousins, their father passed away. And because I was working in an FMCG team, and FMCG was an essential product, and FMCG was not to be, given any breakdown. So we were working as, COVID, without COVID, we were working 24, whatever was the regular times. A lot of people, not just in my team, a lot of people entirely in the organization felt that, we lost a family member. And they're asking us to come and work. It happened in so many companies. Even after COVID, I'll tell you, the work from home was a regular thing in COVID. And then, a lot of push was required for asking people to come and work in office. And people were like, अरे काम तो कर रहे हैं यार, कौन सा काम छूट गया है, पूरा COVID हमने काम किया है, ये है वो है. What happens is, I'm not saying it is as a part of you as a leader, you have to take tough calls. You can't change the diktat or the principles or the things. But when you operate out of EQ, you can just not let the best people lose sight of their own success, the success of the company, and make them feel valued. If the people that have lost somebody dear during COVID or are struggling to come over feel a little more, oh, somebody is holding a hand for me in the times, then at that moment they felt seen, heard. It would not lead to rampant resignations. They would feel empathetic. So this comes from self-awareness, and a lot of leaders struggled during this time. I'm sure a lot of other scenarios happen today also. But to build loyalty amongst your teammate and not resentment, one needs to operate out of self-awareness. This I can let go. This I should be able to connect better, right? Okay. Self-regulation. This is a mastery. I really think this is a mastery. Self-regulation, master your emotion. It's a thing that I think I remind myself constantly. The ability to control or redirect your impulses and moods. Why it matters? It helps you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Work scenario: receiving a rude mail. Oh my God, this happens to all of us. Instead of firing back, you take 10 minutes to cool off. Then you respond professionally. Then you craft a professional mail and respond. Practice 3 breath pause before reacting. I'll tell you, this is, like I said, that I kind of need to master this one much more. The ability to control and redirect your impulses and mood. It is a huge one, I think. And I totally understand when we become managers and leaders that are put to task for bigger challenges, output orientation, targets, teams, it becomes very difficult. It becomes very difficult. But we must understand, we need to redirect. And अगर आपके पास कुछ नहीं है, you are in a scenario, you're aware that you're feeling like a gas chamber right now. The best thing you can do is give yourself 10 minutes. I know, I was watching Sadhguru the other day, and he also was giving the like, really, Sadhguru? Yes. So he was saying, count till 10. When you're feeling angry, count till 10. 1, Samta 2, Samta 3, Samta 4, Samta 5, Samta 6, Samta 7, Samta 8, Samta 9, Samta 10. If you can't do this, go for a loo break. I'll tell you practical things one can do. If you're in a meeting boardroom and your bosses or your colleagues are not being triggered for whatever reason, take a loo break. Take a smoke break. I'm not promoting smoking, but you know what I mean. Take a loo break. Or if a rude mail comes from a client, before even responding anything, and you think it is important to even respond, even after 10 minutes, don't craft a professional response. Say, allow me to come back. Give yourself time. Again, it comes back to जब तक आपकी self awareness नहीं होगी, क्योंकि उनके response से आपके अंदर कुछ trigger हुआ है. Firstly, understand that. And then create distance. Create that distance from that incident, that crisis, that situation, and yourself. That distance could be physical distance. It could be mental distance. It could be removing yourself from the equation. Do that. It could be pausing. Do that. It's a mastery. It requires time. Allow yourself time. You can't do it tomorrow, but allow. Helps? I hope it does. Okay, story. The CEO who changed a merger outcome. This is one of a like fantastic one. Aditi was leading a tense merger discussion. Rather than mirror the anger, she remained composed, used mindfulness techniques. Outcome, her calm energy shifted the entire conversation, salvaging a key deal. Learning, leaders who regulate themselves regulate the room. Calmness is contagious. Like the smile is contagious, so is calmness. You can remain unperturbed by any emotional reaction throwing your way. You are stronger. And you know what? I will tell you the great way to do it is, give yourself, okay, I'm on an exercise. आज मैं वर्कशॉप मोड में हूँ. आज मेरी तरफ कोई भी मेल आएगा ना, आई विल रिस्पॉन्ड लाइक दिस. आज कोई क्लाइंट ऐसे बोलेगा ना, आई विल रिस्पॉन्ड लाइक दिस. आज मेरा नेबर ऐसे बोलेगा ना, आई विल रिस्पॉन्ड लाइक दिस. Try and give yourself the challenge each day. Today is the day of self-awareness. Today is the day of self-regulation. Build it up for you. Otherwise, if you will not take it up like that, if you're not owning up like that, you will not be able to exercise it. It'll all get washed over. Give yourself time to take each of these pillars, put it in your day and say, Aaj main ye karungi, aaj main ye karunga. That's when you will start exercising and imbibing it. Helps? Parinita, you have anything to say?
I have a lot of things, some questions. Yes, we'll take that at the end, ma'am.
Okay. I'll also give myself 3 seconds and I'll have some sip of water.
Sure, ma'am. But the examples that are being taken are really, really something we go through every day. It's not something out of the blue. But yes, this is something that I've seen. Even if the situations are same, a lot of times I react differently in the same situation.
Yes, absolutely, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. I will now go to motivation. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Motivation. This one is again very important to understand simply because this is your inner driver. This is an inner driver. What is motivation? We know the definition. Passion for work that goes beyond status and money. What is really motivation? Like the army may, army men are motivated to give their lives. It's like the passion pitch that you give to motivate them to do something, to direct themselves in a certain way. Why it matters? Motivated leaders inspire team through vision and persistent. We know that if we are not motivated, the followers, the leaders, if the leader is not motivated, how is the team going to respond? Not going to respond very nicely, right? If your leader is coming at 12, you're like, ठीक है यार, मैं भी पहुंच जाऊंगा. 11:30 तक मैं भी ऑफिस पहुंचता हूँ. मेरा बॉस तो 11 बजे आता है. मेरा बॉस तो पूछता नहीं है. Motivation is important. It's very, very important driver in outcome orientation. Leading a 6 months product launch with issues, instead of giving up, staying focused on a mission and rallying the team around. Why is motivation is important for leaders is because you understand as a leader, you are not doing anything. You're not supposed to do. You are elevated yourself from the position of doing. You are getting it done. You are in the getting it done chair, and the getting it done chair requires a huge lever of motivation. And how do we motivate people? Giving them, अरे तुझे करना चाहिए, बहुत अच्छा है. No. That's important. That's part of it. But true motivation for anyone, true motivation is, अरे तू ये कर ले, इतना नंबर मीट करेगा ना, ये तेरा प्रमोशन पक्का है. That's a great motivation, yes. For me also. Great motivation. But you have to understand motivation comes back to connecting, reconnecting people, the majority of your people, to the why. If you are constantly connecting, telling people the why of things, trust me, you can completely lead from behind, lead from front, lead from side, lead from the door, lead from anywhere, and your teams will produce outputs. You all have to be aligned to the why. And what is why? Why should I be doing, why should I be doing that number of sales? You should be doing, let's say, Rakesh, you should be doing that number of sales. Of course, one part of it, the tangible part of it is that there is a promotion chair waiting for you, there is a money waiting for you. But Rajesh, you should do that promotion simply because you will get a permanent ear. You will get a permanent ear to the CEO. जब तू बोलेगा ना नेक्स्ट टाइम, सीईओ सुनेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि तूने क्राइसिस में नंबर्स लाके दिए हैं. You should know how to motivate your team, and you should be very connected to the why. Because yaar, I want, when you are inspiring young leaders to become leaders, and even sometimes to, take on, you need to tell them the whys, the tangible things will happen. The chair, the money, the fame, all of that will happen. But you will solidify your ground. You will be an irreplaceable, part of the team. And you constantly, as a leader, need to remind your team of that. It is not that एक दिन अगर आप respond नहीं करोगे client को तो कोई पहाड़ टूट जाएगा. But अगर आप respond नहीं करोगे ना client को, showcasing that you're not working in the best team. You're not working on a Gillette or a Pantene or a Ogilvy. You're working in any other team. And that doesn't have to be a brand name. It can be any. If you hold yourself accountable to excellence, that's when you produce result. Your why should, and there are many whys. I will take a separate exercise sometime on whys. It's a very, very in-depth exercise. But reconnect to your why. And reconnect to your why for yourself also. Before you start with the team, again, I will say, always connect with self before the team. Why are you into it? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to you to motivate your team? Why is it important? It is important because tomorrow Parinita is there in the room or not in the room. Her team knows how to respond. Her team knows how to take a challenge on. Her team you are building people. You need to know that your absence and minus cannot shift things much. If your teams know your why very clearly, she knows. I mean, her team knows Monday 10:30 she will come. She will do this. I know that. So I need to be prepared. I need to do this much. Monday morning, all my clients should get their entire, finance sheets. They should know that. They know it's a rhythm. And why is that rhythm important? Rhythm is important because if and when the crisis come or the debalancing happens, there is a flow still happening. And they understand the importance of that. They understand the importance of that. Yeah. That is why motivation is again coming back to motivation is you connecting back to your why and telling your team and holding them team accountable to your why so that they can rally for the cause that you're building. Okay. Empathy. feel for others. This is now, abhi tak we were, till the first 2 points were about self. Then it became about motivation because about the other. Now we are talking about empathy, which is feel with others. Empathy is not, Arey, I know what you are feeling. No, 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 no. That's not empathy. That's some psychic thing. Empathy is, I feel with you. It's not about, it's not here. Empathy is here. I feel with you. The ability to sense others' feeling and perspective. Why it matters? It creates trust. It diffuses conflict. You know, yeah, just say, you know, I will say, "Arey, aap baitho na yaar, main karta hu." You know, like that is empathy. When you have you are feeling what the other person is feeling and feeling it with them at that moment. Right? That is empathy. Work scenario, noticing a normally upbeated team worker who has been quiet, instead of ignoring it, asking them privately, are you okay? I cannot tell you guys, it is a super to duper power. Because when you are empathetic, आपकी team आपको छोड़ती नहीं है. Trust me. Trust me. You can build a nation if you are empathetic. Because people will come to you like magnets. Like you'll attract people like magnet. Why? Because people know that you care. You will sit down with them. यार क्या हो गया बताना. अच्छा उसको प्रमोशन मिला तुझे नहीं मिला. देख मैं तेरे को बताता हूँ क्या हुआ. हो सकता है यार, हो सकता है मैनेजमेंट की अपने रिस्ट्रिक्शन हो सकते हैं. मैं उसमें नहीं जाना चाहता, पर आई अंडरस्टैंड यार तेरा. You know, just to feel with them, not that you can give them all the time what is the right thing or the desirable thing or the logical thing, but to ability to not let go of people who are, for whatever its reason, not feeling okay. Your parents, like, you know, like I said, COVID mein itni time, I think the organizations lacked empathy when they were pushing people to come to offices despite such a danger. You lack empathy. Versus the teams were like, okay, you work from home, we will figure it out. What will happen? A client will shout one, you make the client understand, right? But you be empathetic to the right things. And sometimes you can't change the clients also. I'll tell you, that is also a scenario, very frankly. The pressure is not reduced, but you still continue to channelize your energy and connect and feel alongside others. The check-ins are the very key of deep empathy. Please, you know, a team lunch, a fancy food, yes, all of that makes a lot of difference. But if you are not talking to the people, if you're not connecting with them, trust me, wo jo fancy dinner hai, everybody orders a dish and a drink, and you know, everybody drinks on a Friday night and disappear. You must connect and check in. क्या चल रहा है? All okay? वो respond आ गया था, उसका मिल गया. And I'm not saying you need to validate what they are feeling all the time, but you need to feel it with them. You need to make them feel heard. कि उनके पास कोई ऐसा है लीडर जो उनकी बात सुन सकता है. सुनना है आपको जरूरी नहीं है उस पर एक्शन लेना है. सुनना है. एक्शन नहीं लेना है आपका लॉजिकल माइंड और इमोशनल माइंड के बैलेंस से डिसाइड होगा. बट डेफिनेटली यू हैव टू गिव देम अ हियरिंग बिफोर समबडी कम्स. यू नो, बॉम्बे में बहुत बार होता है, इट्स रेनिंग cats and dogs, and there is a 4 o'clock meeting and somebody has come at 4:15. You have to be empathetic. There will be crisis on the road. There will be not autos or public transport. People will go here. Why? Empathetic. Nothing will change. You will be able to achieve the output of your meeting as is. As is. Only when you learn to empathize. The outcomes will not change. Only when you will come to empathize. Key practice check-ins, like I said. Moving on. It's a very interesting story. The project crisis that happened that became a leadership moment. A key scenario. After a failed product launch, emotionally, one sec. After a failed product launch, emotions ran high. Meera acknowledged the disappointment openly, validating the team's feeling. कि yeah, fail हो गया यार, नहीं हुआ काम. Outcome, her honesty created space for creative solutions. Learning, addressing emotion unlocks performance. Emotional intelligence lesson, naming emotion diffuses power. Naming emotion diffuses their power. For example, if I say, I am feeling sad, I have diffused the power of that emotion over me. I'm already not feeling sad when I named it. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Everybody will face challenge, but owning up to that challenge, owning it, हाँ मेरे को ऐसा feel हो रहा था यार, I was not feeling right. I was very fried since the morning. The minute you say it, it diffuses its power over you or the situation or the people. Allowing other people to feel a certain way is absolutely okay. And allow them that. And you will realize naming an emotion diffuses its power. You do it in your personal life scenario and let me know. It absolutely reduces. The minute you say, oh, I was so this, that this thing is already left you. Try it, try it. The last part and the most important part, the social skills. What is social skills? From self-awareness to regulation to motivation to empathy, then comes your social skills. अगर आपने इतनी journey travel कर ली है, you are solid in your game already. You are ready to lead and connect with your social skills. Definition: building relationship, inspiring others, managing conflict. What is social skills? I'll again repeat: building relationship, inspiring others, managing conflict. सिंपल. आपका किसी से रिलेशनशिप है, आप उनको इंस्पायर कर सकते हो, उनका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू चेंज कर सकते हो और उससे आप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट मैनेज कर सकते हो, चाहे आप हो चाहे वर्ल्ड ग्लोबल लीडर्स हो. दिस इज व्हाट इज नीडेड. व्हाई इट मैटर्स? सक्सेस इज रिलेशन, नॉट जस्ट ऑपरेशनल. Success is relational, not operational. Success is relational, not operational. मैं ये कर दूंगा, ये कर दूंगा, ये कर दूंगा से सक्सेस नहीं आ जाएगा. ये मैं उसको कह दूंगा, उससे वो कुछ करेगा, उससे ऐसे होगा. It's a chain. It's not transactional alone. That is when that happens, right? In the social scenario. Work scenario, two departments blaming each other, using facilitation and open questioning to rebuild collaboration. All the time. Classic thing that happened. I'll tell you, I was leading a marketing department and the sales department, always at loggerheads. Marketing ka ye nahi aaya, ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua, hum kaise jaye sales mein. Perpetual. And they have to be. They're opposing energies, right? One is masculine, one is feminine. They have to be loggerheads. And that's rightly so. That builds the organization. But we used to have one-on-one meetings once a week where we will just first, it will be a full-on owning up the emotion, what I felt, what I said, what I'm feeling, where I felt non-supported. Then using the question saying, can we rebuild? Can we collaborate? And that very day we will have lunch together. That was a practice we did in our, back then in Sood. So those are one thing that I think. But it happens across the board. Across the board. It is emotional. It is wise to always own it up and talk about it, not keeping it to yourself. That is not going to build the relationship. And don't worry. When you say something and you are self-regulating and saying it in the right tone and manner, trust me, it will be received in the right tone and manner as well. Trust me on that. Key practice: start very hard conversation with curiosity, not accusation. Oh my God, this is brilliant. Every conversation with curiosity. अच्छा तो क्या हुआ था? अच्छा वो ये टारगेट मीट नहीं हुआ, ये वेबसाइट अप नहीं गई, क्लाइंट को रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया, क्या हुआ था? What happened? Try to be inquisitive. Try to be curious. Don't be accusational. अच्छा यार, अभी तक पैकेजिंग पहुंची नहीं, वहां पे तो गलत पैकेजिंग पहुंची. Don't assume. Don't, even if you have all things laid out, don't assume. Allow the other person to feel they have a fair chance in this conversation. When you will give that person that room, that, okay, you have a fair chance to say, and then let's just understand and let's build on it. Don't overpower it. That's what it is. There are numerous stories, like I won the one I told you, but I'll take another one. The new leader who earned the trust in 30 days. Arjun took over a demotivated team. Happens a lot of times. Instead of imposing quick solution, he spent 30 days actively listening. Outcome, he understood hidden challenges and built credibility fast. Listening is leadership. Trust grows in silence. I cannot underline this more. I think this is such a crux part of emotional intelligence, that listening is leadership. Trust grows in silence. हम जब आके सोचते हैं कि हमें तो सब कुछ आता है, हम तो IIM से आए हैं, हम इतना पढ़ के आ गए, हमने फॉरेन एक्सपीरियंस लिया, मैंने तो इस पे काम किया, उस पे काम कर रखा है, इस ब्रांड पे, मुझे तो सब कुछ पता है. And that is natural. Till a senior manager level, we all feel that. We are the one, हमने किया, boss ने करा ही क्या. You know, we all feel that. It's a natural thing. Because आप कर रहे हो, आप कर भी रहे हो. I'm not denying that. But it's the gear shifting after that. It's the gear shifting after that. Listening is leadership. Trust grows in silence. And please try it with your children, with your spouse, with your parents, with your neighbors, with your colleagues, with your friends. Leadership is when you are almost invisible, not when you are telling ye karo, ye karo, ye karo. When you're invisible. And people understand the culture and the why and the motivation so hard that they don't need you. That where is the crux of emotional intelligence that you've passed on to, right? Another story I'll take. The email that should have waited. One sec. A manager almost sent an angry email in the heat of the moment. He paused and reflected and made a call instead. Outcome, a conversation repaired the relationship instead of escalating conflicts. Learning to delay responses when emotions are high. Time is your ally. Oh my God. I have learned this the very hard way. You know, very, very hard way in life. I was the first one to respond. First one to respond. And I so many times realized that once once the half of the day is gone, everybody reflects. Everybody's, yaar, theek hai yaar, chal chhod, dekhte hain. Once the half of the day is gone. And you can tackle it better when the delay has happened. People also get time to process their emotion. Like these 5 steps that we walked. Allow people that also. So it's not just for yourself. You have to understand every room that you are entering, people are emotionally intelligent or they're on the journey. So allow them to, be self-aware, regulate, motivate, empathize, and then kind of build their social skills. Practice, this is for you. EI in your leadership, like I said, leadership is in listening. It is the trust is built in silence. These are golden words that you can really take down from, at least those points that you can take down from the presentation, I hope. Pause. Create space between the emotion and the action. 3-second rule. 1, 2, 3. And I do that all the time. Reflect. Ask yourself, what is happening instead me right now? What is really happening inside me right now? What am I feeling? That's reflection. I'm feeling back pain. Okay. Maybe ko lag raha hai ki shayad. So just understand your emotion. Allow yourself time. And isme time ka bahut major role hai. So allow yourself time. What am I feeling? Respond with highest leadership intention, no emotional reflex. What does that mean? आपकी हाईएस्ट लीडरशिप इंटेंशन क्या होती है? हम सब ग्रोथ की तरफ जाएं. We should be able to be peacefully resolving this issue or moving forward or be in the point of celebration. That is your highest leadership intention. No emotional. It should not be a reaction. Nobody should feel blamed. Yet, everybody should take responsibility. Nobody should feel blamed, yet everybody should take responsibility. That is the balance. Yeah. Micro habit, pause, reflect, choose. Micro habit, pause, reflect, choose. Pause, reflect. What am I feeling? Choose. How do I respond? Okay. Again, coming back, circling back to self-awareness fuels self-regulation. Self-regulation creates space for empathy. Empathy deepens social skills. Altogether fuels motivation and resilience. So all of this is connected, right? Self-regulation, self-awareness to self-regulation to self-regulation to motivation and empathy to deepen social skills. Altogether, again, to the larger leadership task. Emotional echo, your leadership leaves an emotional trail. Make it the one of trust and impression, inspiration. आप चाहें या ना चाहें, आप कहो कि आप किसी, we know that there is a difference between Dr. Manmohan Singh and Honorable Prime Minister Modi. We know there is a leadership difference, right? There is an emotion that one gave you and the other gave you and the other gave you, right? And you need to own it up and you need to make sure that it is the one with trust, the ones with inspiration, right? No matter what you are, aap bolo ya na bolo, your teams will take on your emotional trail. Don't think that you can mask it with something, and don't try to. Masking your emotion will never make you an emotionally intelligent person. It will make you an emotionally fearful person. So take your emotions, understand your feeling, allow yourself, and then respond. This is a Harvard study. I just wanted to share this with you for you to know on a general level, how does this work? These competency, of course, ये काफी in-depth work है. So if you have time, Google it, and you can also reach out to me if you want to have another understanding on this. There are these four competency that we spoke about of these pillars are self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, relationship management. आप ये देखोगे on the left the boxes on the left side are self-awareness and self-management. These are all the work that I have to do with me. And then there is a work that I have to do with others, which is empathy and, social skills that I have to do with others. But self-awareness, self-regulation is mine. And इसमें से action क्या है और इसमें से awareness क्या है? Empathy and self-awareness and empathy is awareness. Self-regulation, when you hold yourself back or whatever, pausing, that is an action, which is an inward action. And social skills is an action. दो action है, दो awareness है, दो self के लिए हैं, दो others के लिए, right? This is again a chart for you to just say, how do you build it up? Emotional, social intelligence and competency. इनके अंदर क्या क्या आता है? Self-awareness comes with emotional self-awareness. Self-management comes with control, self-control, adaptability, achievement orientation, positive outlook. क्योंकि कभी-कभी क्या है, आपके अंदर की motivations आपको allow नहीं करती हैं to take self-management or self-regulation seriously. That's what you need to do. Social awareness, again, empathy that we spoke about, organizational awareness. You need to understand आपकी organization का culture कैसा है. How does this empathy sit in there? And how can you then regulate it? That is social awareness. The empathizing for you are really empathizing with your teammate who is going through something. But at the same time, this empathy cannot be disproportionately debalancing the rest of your team and the task. So trying to create a balance between mind and heart. Relationship management, I think none of us can really escape that. How can you, from your skills, can influence, can coach and mentor, can get the teams to work, conflict management, inspirational leadership. How can you do all of that? That's a very, very important part. Again, these competencies need to be built up to be emotionally building you as a leader. The next part is the final reflection before we take the questions. Head without heart. What is head without? Like the classical leadership that we understand is a head without heart leadership, which is a control-led leadership. Boss आ गया यार, काम कर ले. Boss आ गया, boss आ गया. Efficient but cold. हम डर से काम करते हैं. Boss आ जाएगा. Boss ने मांगा है. That is a typical, when we grew up, that style of leadership. Head without heart. Fear से आप जब कुछ करते हो. Heart without head. Chaos. Which is like our mothers na and at home. इन खा ले एक और खा ले ना, please खा ले. अच्छा कल कर लियो, सो जा अभी. कल पढ़ लेना. Sometimes not, my mother was very strict, but sometimes we encountered this energy at home, heart without head. Right? That kind of, no, that's okay, you are sick, you take leave. No. आप अगर किसी को एक लीव दे रहे हो 5 दिन का, then that is putting disproportionate burden on the rest of your teammates or your team. How do you? That's directionless, na? Chaos create करता है. Head plus heart is conscious leadership. Balancing the logic and emotion creates transformational leaders. I understand you're going through something. I understand it's tough. But that does not dissuade me from the target. I take you along because you are limping right now. You're not able to perform in that way. But these are the 5 tasks you need to do to better yourself so that you and the rest of the teammates who are at this level perform equally. Right? That's the balance that you create. Remember, you lead with emotion, not just people. What I mean by here is not emotional. Please understand, emotions and emotional have a very different connotation, right? You don't have to. You have to find the balance, lead with your emotions. Just remember that there are emotions, your emotion, and not just people. You'll be able to connect that better. Let's final reflection again. Let's lead with EI. EI is a transformative, courageous tool. And it makes you a very empowered, strong leader. That is what it makes you. And with that, I think it's a wrap from my end. Thank you so much for your time and the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Samta ma'am. I think, especially the pillars that you spoke about and how you have, because this is a very, very, very difficult and a very confusing topic if you don't take it in a structured manner. And the way you have put that into the 5 pillars is something that really will stay with us. And one of the questions or the suggestions, I'll put it as a suggestion, that, respect is one of the pillars that's very, very strong. And I think, so the person is recommending, can we put respect for our own self and others as one of the pillars for emotional intelligence? What do you have to say for that, ma'am?
No, I think Parinita, again, I'm very thankful for your kind words. It's very motivating from I'd like I said, from your community to hear such kind words. It's a deep reflection for me. About respect, you're absolutely right. Of course, the self-respect part of it comes first. I truly think if there is no respect, there is nothing. Respect is that foundational pillar, or rather foundational. It is foundational. If there is no respect, there is no authority, there is no leadership, no nothing. So yes, to answer that question, respect is a seamless platform. And I would just say respect for self and then respect for others. If you, again, it is part of self. Aapko ye feel karna ki, okay, I'm not feeling respected, and then to communicate.
Right.
Communicate that certain things in this way are not making me feel respected. Find your words, find your time, find your place, self-regulate, and then do communicate about it. Because as a leader, as you go ahead, you will be very conscious to able to take teams along and be very respectful to them.
Wow. Yes, respect is like it becomes the root for us. If there is no root, of course, we don't have a good, strong tree to really move ahead. So we have one more suggestion, and this is a very, very interesting one that spiritual inclination is really necessary to motivate ourselves for emotional intelligence. So, how much time should one really spend on spirituality in this busy lives that we have?
Wow. How much time? Very interesting question. I think, firstly, I would like to compliment the person. I think that person has already led a certain part to be coming to this question. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
I'm audible. Okay. One sec. I think I lost you. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I do think that certainly, like I think in the beginning we were also talking about that, from EQ to now SQ it has become. So yes, I think spiritual part is, you can't take it away as you grow and as you lead more and more teams, and more importantly as you lead yourself. There is a part of spiritual growth that is required, without which you cannot take. How am I connecting with so many people? There is a spiritual connection, of course. I would just say that there are certain, as it's a step by step journey. From IQ, we born very logical. From IQ to EQ to then SQ, automatically hota hai. You will find leaders and you will hear their story. If you will read their memoirs, you will realize they are actually talking. They're not talking targets anymore. They are talking spiritual stuff only. In fact, I was mentioning about Ratan Tata, and a very famous story of his that came out after his death was that the chairman of Tata Group currently, who's active chairman, asked him that what should we do about this? There's a massive office in a very prime property. What should we do? Can we renovate it? You should be renovated so that we can accommodate more people and more office space here. And the first response of Ratan Tata ji was, where will the dogs go? Imagine, like, imagine Ratan Tata. I don't even want to mention his financial wealth and the kind of stuff he's built India. He's one of the foundational people who built India to this core. Who says, where will the dogs go? Because that compound has a lot of dogs. I'm saying that is not going to add to any P&L anywhere. That's not going to add to any bottom line. But you do become spiritual. So yes, I think it is a natural escalation, if you ask me. How much time to be spent there? I think that depends on your journey, your calling. I'm sure if you are on the other end of EQ that you have already evolved, you will automatically make room for spiritual elevation, and then it will automatically fit into your time. But definitely, I think as we go ahead, you're absolutely right. That is something that is very required.
True, ma'am, true. So it's a journey, and everybody has their own space. Everybody takes their own time to really go. And yes, it can be 5 minutes a day to 1 hour to 2 hours, whatever time you feel comfortable and you feel, yes, this much time is helping me grow. I think that's the best time for you. There's no standard time that we can
Yes,
define.
yes.
Perfect.
Very well said.
So thank you, ma'am. So one thing that because even you are a woman and you have led teams, we all, of course, women leaders are always different than men. And in this growing world, what I have seen and some questions that I get is we see a lot of difference in the personalities as a leader, the emotional quotient of a women leader and a male leader. And a lot of times there is a struggle as to adjusting to the opposite gender's EQ, especially when you are a women leader it's very difficult. And sometimes I've seen this, that women leaders try to have the EQ of a male to just, to have that or to give out that vibe that I'm strong. Is that correct? And how should how should you adjust to a opposite gender's EQ?
Wow. A very intelligent question, Parinita. Really, wow, it's a very good question. Firstly, that tells me that you are a very deep thinker, because आप इतनी depth में जाके सोचते हो, तो definitely you're a very good thinker, deep thinker. You're absolutely right. I'll tell you, we'll have to, for me, I think one has to step back and see, women have come in the workforce in last 50, 60 years, 60 years, if you take broadly. So yes, we are in a spree to prove ourselves. And the larger way that I would say the corporate world operates, or larger way the business world operates, is a very, in a very masculine sensibility, and there is no taking away from that. And that has given us a lot of growth and prosperity and abundance. So we can't deny that. And women are somewhere trying to compete to be saying that I am also equally good. So वो वहां से आता है. It's a very natural thing that springs from there, and it is just a way of showcasing your own worth. And sometimes they go against their grain to be able to get themselves validated, which happens. And there are sometimes, I would say, women leaders are very tough. There are some women leaders who I think are generally tough. Like they have different IQ, EQ level, any which ways. So, I personally think Meri journey mein, Parinita, be very transparent. I have if you are true to yourself and you say, I'm like this leader, I'm not a gun blazing leader. I am this leader. And you will, trust me, with the resistance or this is, if you are focused, you will find your way. Because agar aap lad jhagad ke or pushing your out or validating yourself, you get that chair, you will not be able to be easy. And what is getting the crown? That is not easy, right?
Right.
The crown has to be fitting into my beauty also, right? That's what I feel.
Wow. Thank you so much, ma'am. This topic is something you can have like endless discussions. And I think you've covered the base very well, where we know where to start from, where to start thinking from, and how to really go about it. So we are now coming to the end. Thank you so much, Samta ma'am. With this, I would like to propose a word of thanks. It has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful webcast. I've learned so much, even if I'm from the same background, but it's always good to hear such professionals who have experienced such a vast experience. So thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you to all our audience for raising some amazing points, some very intelligent questions, and really contributing to the whole webcast. Thank you so much for our Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICAI, to actually think about this topic, understand this importance, and really take this up for our CA community. Heartfelt gratitude to, of course, Samta ma'am. A wide round of applause to the organizers and all the stakeholders, our technical partner, ICAI, everybody. Finally, a great thank you to all our audience again, because without which we won't be here. So thank you so much, Samta ma'am. With that, we will conclude our session.
Thank you so much, everyone. I really thoroughly enjoyed it myself.
Thank you so much, ma'am.